the discontinuity. So just going to go through, was talking about the email layout. And as mentioned, this session was hosted by Uplatz. We'll be talking more onto the SAP recruiting. So moving on to the SAP, email layout in the career site builder. So which we talked about, like how this global ID is going to be looking like. So we have this option of name, locally, and the brand information. So we have this option to either active or inactive a particular email that's that you have been customized or created for it. So that gives the flexibility whether you can enable or disable it. So also you'll be able to choose a background color and specify how the email layout or the component need to be looking like. So that's how you can typically configure the logos, the logo, the background, and even the font style, and whatever, even if you were to embed an image. So the help of an HTML, you'll be able to do it. So those kind of functionalities is completely achievable within the email layout in the career site builder. So it's going to be just as an continuation from the previous slide, as you can see that how you can create it. And this is a typical options that's been available, like options name, local, and brand. And then you'll have this email global ID and active, and parallelly we'll have this the rest of the process where you can able to add the components but along with the background, the logos and styles and all that respective information. Editing the job alert email templates. Okay, now let's take a look onto the job alerts. So let's say like I've been applied for a job here. I'm just going to be switching my screen to SAP. So now I've just been wanted to apply for a job as an account executive. I'm just clicking on it. As soon as I click on the job account executive, as you can see that, yeah, this is a job description that's been available. It looks perfect, and yeah, so I'm just gonna apply for this job. So you always do go ahead and apply it. And in some cases, you feel like, yeah, it's matching up, but let me go ahead and apply it for time being. But I'm also interested in other jobs that's been available. So where you can able to create some alerts from the system, that's the main purpose of it. So you can also share this job with your colleagues in the form of, there are a bunch of options that you can do. Now we have been typically seeing an option to activate the alert. Once I click on that, I have technology consultant. It just showed up a few minutes before. Okay. Yep. So you can see that send me an alert after 7 days. So in case if you wanted to enable or 7 days or 8 days, and number of days that you wanted to stay in alert, what's going on. If there is any other relevant position that's been available, you will be able to select the days option, and the system keeps alerting about that particular job alert email template in the career site builder. So that's the main purpose of it. So in the career site builder, yep, here we go. So that's typical main purpose of this job alert. So this will be available in the form of an email template, so that it triggers an email about the particular job, so that you will be able to choose that particular job and apply for that. So once you select them, you will be able to see the template forms or main area that's been available. And it also provides you a list of tokens which has been tied with the body of an email, and also standard job alert messages which will be available for you. The typical main areas or key areas that's been available under this job alert email template. So subjects and body. Subjects is going to have a quick top level view of it, like what's the main purpose of it, and then the body is going to be the subject area or the generic text that's been available inside it. And you also need to note that usually 8,000 characters have been supported, and when you're creating a subject, always it's recommended to follow the practice of putting the job title and company name and then the site URL. So that's going to be helpful for you to quickly retrieve the job email alerts that you have been trying to create, in case if there are like a bunch of information that's been going on. So enabling job alert email template in the career site builder. So we'll be able to preview the tokens, and then it will also be allowed to save that particular information. Field mapping and job field mapping and job layouts. Let's take a look on it. So the field mapping is one of the important aspects that you will be able to map that particular field into the particular related job about. So that's the main purpose of a custom job layout. So in order to create a custom job layout in the career site, you always need to allow to have a job page that will be having a couple of attributes that's been tied to the particular brand on your local languages. So also you will be able to see that each custom job page layout will always have two set of fields that you might be seeing each and every time when you create the career site. One is a site field mapping, other one's a job field mapping. Site field mapping is nothing but which helps you to achieve what you are trying to plan and categorize across a custom job page layout. Say, like example, we are choosing a department that's been helping us to create different layout pages for your company department, such as engineering, administrations, and all that. In a similar fashion, we have just choosing the country or region that will be helping you to create a layout for different countries or region for your job. So those kind of informations can be categorized with help of a site field mapping. Job field mapping, which helps you to specify a value for all the active jobs that's been available in the field, and then you will be able to mention what country or region that field has been tied to, and then it could be helping you to display all the active jobs that's been available based upon the drop down value that's been chosen. Say example, if you have chosen United States, and then it will be displaying all the jobs that's been tied with the US or the United States. In the similar fashion for Canada or Europe, based upon the first drop down or the value that's been available, you will be able to display the rest of the value that's going to be displayed at the bottom. So the site field mapping for your site, which it's going to be providing you with all the job related information of the pages, and the career site job will layout and located in the field settings. And the next option is going to be adding your job token component to a custom job layout. So in order to add a job token to a custom job layout, it's going to be helping you to display the various fields that will be appearing in the job requisition, which helps to provide or support and control the information that's been that you wanted to display for the candidate. In case I wanted to display only a certain limit of information. So here, if you look onto this job offer in SAP site, we have a bunch of information. So what are we going to offer for the candidate? This is our company, and we have been more flexible. We adopt a multi-diversity and all that. In similar fashion, we have this opportunity where you will be able to talk about this opportunity, how it's going to be actually helping them. And then we have this expectation and task as well. So what task or what expectation that you have on the candidate who is going to be appearing or applying for this position, work experience. So as you can see that, so we have been talking about multiple areas about the required job. In similar fashion, we will be able to restrict the amount of information that you want to display for the learners. Let's say if you don't want to show or talk more about the experience side or billing aspect, right? So this position might be charging for $200,000. I'm ready to pay for the candidate, but I don't want to expose it in the site. So those kind of information can be completely controlled here. So that's the main purpose of the job token component. Using that, we will be able to customize our layout of what need to be displayed or what doesn't need to be displayed for the learner. Even though the job component, the job tokens, right? So it's available as part of a page component. It can be used only for the job layouts. So where you wanted to post your jobs and wanted to control the level of information that you wanted to be displayed for the learners, sorry, the candidates. The custom layout usually will help you to choose your custom layout, how you want to roll out that. So using once you choose your columns that you wanted to add your tokens, select column 1 and 2, you will be able to add the component, and the component menu will be displayed. So once the components are displayed, you will be able to choose a job token that's been displayed, and then you will be able to configure, okay, what's your targeted device for this token to appear?
it's going to be like a desktop or tablet or mobile device, that you have a pretty good flexibility for you to choose it so that the token can be configured to the certain devices. So as long as you wanted to, add those tokens, job tokens to multiple areas, the system will provide you flexibility so you can keep adding a number of tokens to the required fields. And the rest of things have been completely optional. I'm just going to be giving you a minute for you so that you can go through that. Okay, I'm just going to be switching over to the next screen right away. For some reason, it's not responding back. I'm going to stop share and just get back in a minute. Something went wrong with my PowerPoint. Okay, I'm putting my screen back. For some reason, the keyboards are not responsive, so I'm just going to be walking through it. Okay, so we've just been going through this component of how it's going to be actually utilizing the job tokens here. And we'll talk about something on the content security purpose now. So security policies are one of the major aspects that many industries are really worried due to cyber attacks that's been happening all across the world. And yeah, you have to be pretty bit cautious on the content security policies that's wanted to display on your career site. So the system allows you to enable the content security policy, which is an additional layer of security that's been available at the career site, which is comes by default with the career site builder. So you don't want to procure anything or integrate anything for respect to the security wise information. So because these options have been already available for you in the career site builder. So enabling the content security policy will help you to define the content of the HTTP header will be embedded to it. Which is typically in a security layer, which will be helping you to restrict some, or make some secure transactions or communications between the portal. So, say an example, like if I'm enabling the security content security policy, which allows which automatically disallow all external domains which has been accessed or trying to access this. So including the domain that we have been added. So apart from that, all the rest will be ignored. So the content security policy is usually designed to guard against cross-site scripting, so cyber attacks and all that, right? Like usually have the kind of like a snippet code that usually jumps in and messes our data and all that information. So those kind of information can be completely restricted when we started using just content security policies that can be enabled for it. And yep, sorry, just switching multiple sites. And by default, what are the things domain that's been recommended to add in your content security policies? As you can see that address.com, address, and bunch of Google sites, LinkedIn, and other social networking and collaboration sites, right? Like YouTube and all that. So these kind of domains which can be whitelisted so that those information can be allowed into the career site, or the particular content can be allowed and displayed on the career site. Because if you allow some external if you didn't enable it, right, so the particular settings are not enabled, that gives them pretty good flexibility for the hackers to jump in and mess around your data. So that these options will be really helpful for you to layer on what level of content that need to be displayed, so that the particular content will be allowed and the user will be able to the particular when the content can be displayed from different pages or different sites that are available into the careers window. Okay, and now let's take a look on to how you can choose your site local for your career site. So site local, it's gonna be like helping you to choose your default languages or default local languages that you want to display. Let's say if I've been in a part of Canada, I just wanted to display some languages in Spanish as well as in English. In those areas, I will be able to categorize it. What is my locally language? So that I'm going to be like, I just want to display everything in the Spanish language, or I want to display something in English. So those kind of categorization can be happen. And based upon my local site, if I'm been in part of Canada, I'm going to choose Spanish. If I'm part of like a Portuguese, I can choose Portuguese or different languages based on it, or French, or based upon the language aspects, the local language can be set, and which can be done in the career site builder. So we always need to select that language, because the translation editor, as we have seen it earlier, so which helps you to identify and convert those content into the local languages that you want to select. In order to do that, you have to select the settings, site configuration, and site locally, which is available in the career site builder, where you'll be able to select what is the local language from the drop down that's been available. So once it's been done, now you're going to select the default local that you wanted to display in the specified local languages for the page, or the locally language that's been displayed. Once you select that particular page or languages, so their corresponding options will be appeared for you. As a job seeker, I will be able to find a link to the job search page, and then I will be able to directly navigate from there, which is going to be navigating notes of the career site that's been developed. So it's pretty much easier and explanatory how you can actually configure or choose your site locally in the career site. Okay, I'm just going to take about a minute for you to quickly recall the topics that whatever we discussed, and then we'll move on to the next area. So we have been seeing about the job alert templates, the field level mapping, and adding your job token to the job layout, and then the content security wise. So I hope like these are the main areas that we have been discussed. So just gonna give you a quick break for 2 minutes so that you can quickly go through those areas, and then we'll talk more about search engine optimization settings and other areas that we have covered.
Okay, fine. Let's get started onto the search engine optimization. So search engine optimizations are usually kind of like a setting that's been available in the career site builder. So in this, we will be able to generate or sequence what is going to be available for the search. That's if you search for a keyword, what kind of relevant settings that need to be done. Say I'm just going to search going to the career site of SAP. So here I'm just going to search for something as an SAP. So when I search for SAP, only the jobs that's been tied to the SAP should be displayed. So it should not display something um, which is completely outside the scope. Right, if I'm just going to be searching something as a learning, so all the keywords that it's going to be showing is related to learning, and none of it should be shown outside. So in case that's the main purpose of a search engine optimization, so which will be helping us to define what kind of information that need to be displayed. So that's the main purpose of it. So even let's take like Google, right? So we have been using that ranking parameters link within the search engine optimization, where you will be able to display the list of sites that's going to be displayed like an hyperlinks for you. So that based upon it, based upon the ranking parameters, all those information will be displayed. So how it actually works like, I'm just going to quickly show you a picture here. So search engine optimization taken very distinct parameters, like a performance measurement, ranking, search, what is the content that's been available, what are the links that's been available, target groups, marketing, and security. So based upon these parameters will be taken into one single consideration, and then the relevant search result will be displayed for the learners. So that's the main purpose of how search engine optimization works in high level. I'm not going to dive into it because it's wide concept, and let's focus on SAP recruiting at this moment. So just quickly showing you what is an SEO, search engine optimization, and how it will be appeared. So search engine optimization settings usually has a variety of information like terms to demote, terms to avoid, and no index topic and no index search. So these are kind of like options that's been available within the SEO. So which will be helping which will be helped to identify or categorize the information that's been displayed, like demote, avoid, no index. And I'm just going to give you, because these I don't want to explain it line by line. These are self-explanatory ones. So I'm just going to give you a minute so you can go through it. So these are kind of like a standard settings that's been available. So just giving it back to you for a minute. Okay, fine. I think you went through those areas. So let's keep moving on to the next steps. So next steps. Okay, how do you actually enable the job alert? So job alerts in the career site builder, which is typically helps you to identify how the candidate wants to receive the email notification. As we have seen earlier, I think I covered this area once back again. So in this one,
So the job alerts, as we see, it helps us to configure the alert or the notification that has to be displayed for the learner, sorry, the candidate who has applied for the job, whether they have been selected or rejected. So those kind of notification can be completely customizable. So the job alerts, or it's going to be helping you to identify, this section helps you to design and mention what kind of text or notification that you wanted to configure that email template. In the career site builder, so how you can actually do that? In the career site builder, if you go under the settings, we have the site configuration and site information. So under this, you will be able to mention what is a job alert setting that you wanted to perform. And when you go in nearby the bottom of the site information tab, you will be able to, there will be a bunch of information that will be available, such as use job alert email address, use local for job alert. So those kind of information will be available for you. And the system gives you an option to, select those required information. So maybe once you're done with that, like providing the relevant site information, so you will the system will allow you to save the settings so that you can save that, and move on to the next step, like whether when you wanted to enable the job alerts. As a first step, like use job alerts, you can mention that condition when you wanted to trigger that, and then from which email address it need to be triggered, and then the languages. So those are the three main areas that's been available under the job alert section. So as a next step, let's look on to the permission rules. Okay. So in order to do that, so permissions are nothing but an access, right? So in case if I wanted to open the door, I need to get a permission so that I can entry inside the particular premises or an organization or premises or an office. In order to do that, I definitely need a permission role where I can able to launch that career site. So system allows us to create a permission for the global layout pages and tools section of each of the career sites or sections that's been available. So the system also allows us to control or upload the images and font individually. So the roles and the permissions usually allow you to limit the career site builder access based upon the organization needs. So in order to do that, so you always need to go to the user roles and enable the CSP role-based permission slider. So then you'll have this option to create the roles where the dialog box will be appearing and will be requesting for all the supporting informations like a name, description, what is the role, and all that. So once you're done with that, you will be able to save that. And once you have saved that particular roles and all that, now clicking on that edit role page, so usually comes up with an desired permission that's been or I could say like a standard set of permissions or access that's usually comes up for the particular role will be displayed. And once you select that, now your system gives you an option to finalize your roles or access or permissions, whatever you wanted to provide for that certain user. So once it's been displayed, you will be able to save it and then close it. So that kind of operation can be done. And finally, you will also have set delete role as well. In case if you wanted to modify or delete that access for the particular role, you will be able to delete it. Assigning roles to users in a career site builder. So in case if you wanted to, now we have defined the role and we have just granted some permissions for the particular role. As a next step, now we wanted to assign a couple of users into the career site builder. Now what you had to do is go to admin center, manage career site builder, and then user roles, and then select admin users. Under that, you will be able to identify the list of users you wanted to assign. So you can just pick up the admin users, like the list of pages that you wanted to display for the particular users, and you will also be able to lay the conditions around that. So that's the main purpose of it, assigning the role to that particular certain users. I'm just going to quickly switch my screen to a different page for you to show you about the career site. So here, let's take a quick look onto the Infosys video. So they have been talking about how their career site has been designed and how it's going to be helpful. So now you can interrelate like the things that we have been discussing, right? The first step, they have been designed as career site, which is completely user friendly and user flexibility for the candidate to apply for a job. And then that gives a pretty good comfort of custom job emails that we have been seeing about, like how it and what kind of email that they wanted to be enrolling for it. So those are the main aspects that I want to show you. And okay, so I hope like that give you a clear picture of how an organization has created their own career site and how well it can be tied for the learner interface. Okay, now as we have been seeing that we are going to be adding that for each and every role we are going to add some couple of users who's going to be tied with that roles that we have created. So as a first step, you have to go into the admin center, manage career site, and then user roles and select the admin users. So once you have this, edit icon, you can go and find those users, select those particular users, and then assign it to the particular role page. So once those users have been added, so you will be able to see what are the relevant roles that's been associated. And also one thing you always need to be remember, there is only one user can be assigned to one role. The same user cannot be assigned to 3 or 4 different roles. Okay, and then let's take a look onto the SSL certificate for the career site. So SSL certificate, so you might be heard about this word a couple of times. So just let me quickly jump on here. So what's an SSL? What's the main purpose of it? So SSL is typically a certificate that has been available in order to perform a couple of things that's been tied with the security related aspects like an extended validation, multi-domain, and then AMTSSL general purpose as well as unified. So these are kind of like security related stuff that's been available as part of an SSL. It's kind of like a mostly enhanced security that's will be available. So for security purpose, usually the SSL certificate authorities who's issuing it, they will just mention a deadline for that. It's usually 398 days. 398 days for that, and then once an SSL certificate has been expired, it means the Indian site visitors who was wanted to trying to visit your page will be thrown up with a security warning saying, hey, you know what, this site is might be suspicious, and then it might be blocked for you altogether view it. So for security reason, you wanted. So it's always recommended to ensure your SSL certificate is up to date and you're not beyond the expiry date. And usually, SSL certificate you always need to remember, so it takes some time. It's not a fast process to do it, so it takes usually 3 to 6 weeks to complete an SSL certificate, and the reminders will be start appearing when your log is close to 90 days in your career site, so that you will be start working with the concerned product support team for renewing your SSL certificate. And the behavior of the reminder pop-ups, like whether you wanted to enable that reminder pop-ups, can be configured in the career site builder setting. And in case if the career site builder role-based permission is set off, anyone with access to the site builder will be able to see that pop-up, whatever it's been displayed. And in case if the career site builder load-based role-based permission isn't on, only the career site builder administration will be able to see those pop-up that's been available for them. And here we're also able to see that how it will be displayed in the browser. So it's kind of like an if you go into some banking websites or something, right? So in case if I'm accessing Google here, at the top you have a log kind of icon. So here it shows what my connection is secure. Yes, it's secure, and certification is valid. So if I click on that, now I will be able to see that what's the certificate and what is a kind of like a version, serial numbers, and all that. So that's the main purpose of a SSL certificate that's been available. In case of it's expired, a warning message will be thrown in the carrier side to a particular user so that they can work on the renewal and all that. So as a final step, yeah, setting up the email reminders as well. So rather than showing the browser, some cases, organization, they wanted to get some email reminders about their certification expiry so that they renew it on time without missing out the timeline or the deadline for the SSL certificate. So that will be able to, we will be able to achieve that in the career site builder, which prevents users from avoiding, displaying, hey, what, something has been popping up and it's almost about the expiry, go and renew it. So this kind of SSL certificate will be definitely really helpful for them so that they can quickly go through that. In order to do that, what you have to do, you have to go, remind us just a navigation. So go into career site. Under the admin users, you will be able to select the list of users available. I mean, the roles are available, and for which role you wanted to add a relevant users who is going to be tied with that as an admin user. And then you have to enable the enable SSL notification is field set to on or off based upon the requirement. You can set that notification can be turned and off. So that's all we have to typically do, or enable the SSL certificate. So just gonna give you a minute here so that you can go through the complete aspects of what is the main purpose of an SSL certificate. And then I will quickly show you a video about what's an SSL so that you get some good understanding around that. So this is going to be a typical navigation of how you're gonna be enabling an SSL certificate. Okay, I feel like you got some good understanding about just going through those notes, and just gonna be switching over to an SSL certificate video. There are multiple providers available in the market, like GoDaddy. Okay, so that's a really great video on the SSL concept, and just Global Sign is some SSL provider. It's like some third-party firm that's been available in the market. So like the Global Sign, there are like plenty of people that been available in the SSL space. So probably whomever your organization has a tie-up, they can procure the certificates from them, and they will be able to go through that. So that's the main purpose of an SSL certificate. So I hope like that's pretty good on your understanding of the SSL certificate and what's the main purpose of that, and how you can actually turn it on and off with respect to the notifications and all that in the SAP recruiting model. And okay, and that brings us to the end of the session today. And this session was hosted by Uplatz. And thank you for watching this complete session. And we'll catch you up on the next session. So thank you, everyone. Have a great